Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Finch's Flight. In the last episode, Finch enjoyed the arrival of one of his very favorite seasons, when he snuck into the swamplands looking for berries, and for all of those little snake lilies too, to really brighten Griffin's day. It turns out that both of them really like the things that you can find all around the forest in the fall. And it's really lucky that we have so many little blackberries that we can pick over here. If only we had some extra room inside our inventory to spare. I actually wanted to take a trip straight down to Starling's today, so we could maybe think about selling off some of the herbs that I've gathered over the past few days. I really don't think that we're going to need to save any more for the winter, because Galen's Grove has been such a wild success. He has really been keeping up with the herb side of our colony, so I don't think he'll mind if we use the extras for the Mews. A joyful conversation is worth 100 happy words. Well, let's have a little conversation with you today then. Oh, I had a gift to offer, but your paws seem full? Oh, Galen, they're stuffed full of all of those herbs. Okay, we'll be back. Hopefully he won't mind giving it to us a little bit later. I wonder if that's going to mean that he won't give us a gift today. Oh, I wonder what he had in store for us. Probably another herb, to be honest. But Starling, we have quite a bit to unload on you today. Hopefully you'll be able to find a way to use these in your art projects. We have lots and lots of valerian. We even have some of these southern damselflies. I wonder if he could use those shimmering wings in his collection somehow. We'll drop off some of these golden seals too, since the marigolds heal us a little bit more. And aside from that, they also make pretty good gifts. So if we're going to go to maybe the Mystic Colony again today, especially if we want to buy Starling his new coat, we might want to offer up some of those to the Oracle. I think she would probably appreciate it. But now our pockets are very, very much empty, so we'll see if maybe Starling has a little gift to give us too. Hey, I'm taking a survey to see how my trading post is doing. Oh, you've already asked us this, Starling. We've already given you our rating. Honestly, I would rate him quite highly. Some of his objects are rather expensive, but I suppose you can't expect to get all of these things for free. He's not given us any discounts just for being his brother after all. So now we should be free to go back to Galen and see if maybe he's going to give us his gift after all. This lavender seems a fitting gift for a ruler. You know that we're trying to push out the territory before the winter rolls around and it gets even harder. So we can definitely put that to good use. And I'm sure that Claudius is also going to be very, very happy for your contribution. He's probably a little bit worried about it too. Oh my gosh, and Mango! Oh, that little heart is the cutest. Hi again. What's your plans for today? I've always thought it would be neat if I could have my own little garden for growing herbs and other things. I'm pretty sure that she told us this before too. It sounds like she's really hoping, maybe because she spends so much time by Galen's Grove, that we'll build her very own garden to do her work too. Maybe she could even take care of our lavender for us in the future? We could always use somebody to grow a few extras of those, since we use them so often. Hello, Finch. You are a very welcome sight at my den. There is always a careful balance that must be struck between accessibility and security. And that's why we've actually moved him toward the northern portions of our territory, because I figured this would be a better place for him to really gauge the borders. That way he can tell us if anyone is coming from afar. But I think the last cat that we have to talk to is Griffin over here. And as always, Griffin, I do have a little frog inside my inventory that I would love to share with you. So I hope you're looking forward to this. Oh, for me? That's kinda cool, I guess. Playing it cool, Griffin, as always. Oh my gosh, I think you dropped this cardinal? Oh, see, he really appreciates it when we share our fresh frogs with him, you can tell. He tries to play it cool, he tries to act like he doesn't really care about all of these special gifts, but it's quite clear that he appreciates that routine, that we're still keeping up with it after all this time. So I guess, Starling, before we go out, we might as well drop off this cardinal with you too. We even have a little red dragonfly that I caught up by the lake. And I think those are worth a little bit more than the normal ones, just a tiny, tiny bit more. The bugs in general don't often give us too much. But yeah, 51 mews for all that? Oh, excellent. So we can definitely buy you your new coat now. I guess that means we'll be taking a trip down to the Mystic Colony after all. It looks like that would be a good use of our time anyways, because quite a few of the battles are down here. This one is probably the mountain domain since it's so close to their borders. So we'll want to hit up that tile too. I would like to start making a better pathway to the Sacred Temple anyways. So I think that might be a good way for us to get started on that as well. But we have everything we need, right? We have plenty of berries in our pockets, we have our herbs, we have our lavender, so we should be good to go. Now, as far as Starling's coat goes, most of you seem to agree that the Calico Mania coat would probably be the best one for us to choose for the fall time. I love that bee tabby coat, and I think it'll look really, really good if we use it for a summertime costume of some sort. I think it'd definitely blend in better in the summertime season. So we'll have to keep that in mind for the summer of year 4, because pretty soon this year is going to come to an end too. Actually, Finch has already been leading his own colony for an entire year now, and that's why the season is so special to him. It reminds him of when he first planted his paws down at that Highland Lake that Penny had been saving for him, and he started inviting brand new cats into his borders. But it's not all fun and games, and Finch has really come a long way since his very first days. Now he's almost an ultimate fighter, the ultimate warrior. I think we are going to save our experience points for that, just because it'll really help him out in the wintertime too. But let's see if we can get rid of the Mystic Domain first. Oh shoot, I don't think his Deep Cut's ability actually hit many of those cats. Ooh, that might be a problem. Let's go ahead and summon our allies because I don't think we're going to be able to take all of them on alone. But with the help of the rest of our colony, we should be just fine now. There we go. Thank you very much, Murphy. Hold your head high and proud, Finch. You belong to a strong and prestigious colony. Yeah, we know. We're definitely starting to see how able all of our warriors are too. Our guards have proven themselves to be some of the strongest in all the land. Now we better hurry up and go to the Mystic Colony if we don't want to miss them. We can always come back and get that other battle later, but we should probably munch on some of our little blackberries and then munch on some valerian too. That way we'll be really, really quick. Unfortunately, that means we're probably going to leave poor Ruby in the dust, because she can't quite keep up with us when we have valerian coursing through our veins. Ooh, but a frog. Okay, we can't leave the frog behind, especially now that we know how much Griffin really loves these. As long as we can get to Savannah before she closes her doors, we should be fine. She's not snooping around out here today, is she? Ooh, Dexter. Okay, it looks like he might actually be fighting us. I wasn't sure if we had enough reputation with the Mystic Colony yet, but it seems like they're still not quite happy that Finch is snooping around their borders. The hope is that eventually we will get to that point where we'll have a nice alliance with them, just like we do with the Forest Colony. If we get over 75%, that means that they won't attack us when we're in their borders. So we might want to pay a visit to Mare sometime soon too, because it seems like we are getting dangerously close to battling with them again. But hello, Savannah. It looks like you were actually up by these sunken stones. We'll wait for her to come over here so we can take a look at her wares. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate it if we stopped her right inside the swamplands. But yeah, we actually wanted to learn how to potentially dye our brother's fur. I wonder if it's Savannah who's teaching us how to do this? Is that what these colors mean, maybe? She's teaching us how to give our brother the Calico Mania dye job, which can't possibly be an easy task. I feel like he's probably doing this as a way to repay the favor, maybe, since Starling was the one who helped him out with his own disguise when he was sneaking into the mountain domain. So hopefully you're going to be able to take care of all of those little details, because I'm sure that Starling is not going to settle for anything less. Oh, and another snake lily? Oh, I must have missed that the other day. Ooh, I bet that Griffin is going to be really happy if we drop a few more of these off right inside his garden too. Yeah, I can't see Mango being the type who would want to grow a snake lily garden. I think she'd be far more interested in things like the valerian or the lavender. Though we already have Claudius looking after our valerian, so that rules that flower out. She can just be the master of the lavender and all of the shells in the land too. If only it was easier to scoot all the way down to the shores so we could pick up more of those shells for her. It just always seems so far away. And right now we have to focus our attentions on the battle over by the mountain domain. So go ahead and munch on some more of those berries for us, so you're nice and full. And then maybe we should have him heal up with one of these golden seals too. He is getting a little bit injured, not to the point where I'm actually worried about this battle, but we do have to keep in mind that our Summon Allies ability isn't ready for us to use again. So the next battle is directly above us, and before we go in, I do just want to spread a little bit of lavender around this place. It's not going to help very much, but I just want to make sure the control is more in our favor, so we're more likely to see more guards out this way. Oh my goodness, or maybe not, there were only a couple of them there? Well, at least this time his deep cuts abilities seem to actually hit the other cats. But this is definitely going to be a little bit trickier than I thought it would be. We're going to have to separate these cats somehow. Ooh, actually, maybe we could use some of that snake lily? Do you think Griffin would mind? Just one little snake lily to poison our claws? And we better take some of those marigolds too. Then we should be able to knock a little bit more of that health off of them. Oh my goodness! Feisty was actually running away when we poisoned him? I mean, you can't blame him, really. But it's good to know that we can scare some cats with our poisons. We'll have to see if Griffin wouldn't mind showing us how to use the poison a little more effectively, because I'm sure he has his ways. Oh my gosh, that's the Mystic Colony! Yes! Thank you so much for coming in for us! I know you're not really protecting us, Oak and Herring, but that really saved the day. At least it got rid of some of the other cats. And now we can actually focus on Shelby ourselves. Oh, she is really wiry. 2 more cats to go, and then we might actually win this battle. And they seem like they're pretty weak anyways. Oh, just 1 more cat. Oh, there we go. And now we can reap all of the rewards before we warp straight back home. Poor Finch. That was quite the battle. I always love it when the other colonies get involved too, when they swoop in. But it would have been so much better if they were actually allied with us, so we wouldn't have to fight them as well. So I think sleeping should probably take care of most of your wounds. We'll go ahead and curl up for a nice long rest, and then hopefully we'll be getting up at 8 a.m., so we'll have plenty of time to do some more exploring. And there we go. He's feeling mostly better, and I'm sure the rest is something that Galen's Grove can fix. Actually, how are we doing with our experience points? Oh my gosh, we are so close to becoming master warriors. Maybe we should see if Claudius can train us up a little bit too. I'm sure he's going to be very, very impressed once we get that final level. You've shown me great kindness, Finch. After years of considering the nature of kindness, I'm finding that I still have much to learn and you are an expert teacher. Oh, thank you, Galen. Well, he's not too worried about us today. He knows that Finch can probably patch up his own wounds. Seize the day. After all, a cat only gets so many days in their life. It's imperative that you make the most of them. Every cat has a different idea of what makes a day a success, and that's okay. What's important is that you define a successful day for yourself and stick to it. Mango is so wise. Like, she really has some very, very good advice swimming around in those thoughts of hers. So I'm glad that she joined our colony too. Now, Griffin, we caught you yet another frog off in those swamps, and we have plenty of these snake lilies to drop off in your garden, but we're hoping that you wouldn't mind showing us how to actually use this on our claws, because we could really use a few pointers. I think what I'll do is keep the extra 2 inside our inventory, 1 for each of the battles, so hopefully that'll help us come out on top. Now, we don't have quite as much to offer you up today, Starling, and in fact, I think we're probably going to just keep most of our herbs. I've heard there's a special plant that only grows when it's cold out. Can you imagine the selling potential if we could figure out how to preserve one until summer? Oh, Starling, you have no idea. Actually, if you could get the moles to build some little garden inside your den too, then you could grow these all year round. I'm pretty sure that they keep growing, right? I'm almost positive that Penny used to grow snake lilies in her garden too, but it has been a very long time. Since we didn't have a little frog to share with Griffin, since we didn't have one to eat ourselves, maybe we'll want to bring some berries over to Mango instead, since she really seems to like eating those too. But first things first, let's go see if we can grab one of those Recolor Tokens from Coco. That should be right inside his shop, and then we should be able to get to work coloring Starling's fur this time. So a berry for you, Mango, for all of your wonderful advice that you've given us over the seasons. Then a little berry for Finch as well, so he's nice and full and ready for this adventure. Starling and Finch always did play around in the same rooms in the den though, so I wonder if Finch is actually a little bit of an artist too. So Calico Mania, this is the one that we're hoping for? Oh, he looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, you look gorgeous, Starling. Especially with those purple eyes. Oh, they go perfectly with his fur color. Well, Finch, I would say that you did a pretty darn good job. I think Starling is going to be very, very happy for the rest of autumn. I actually have an idea in mind for the next season. Since the winter time we usually go for the blue colors, maybe we could give Starling the Guardian's fur. That might look interesting as long as the other cats can actually wear it. I'm not sure if they would glow like Finch would if he was wandering around with the Guardian's fur, but it'll still look very striking against the white snowy background. So I think one of the battles was right over here, right by the lone sentinels again. And then it might be a good idea for us to wind our way straight down to the sacred temple, spreading all of our lavender as we go. Thankfully, all of our skills are at the ready this time. We have some more little berries to scoop up, don't mind if I do. Okay, but we can't get distracted. Let's go ahead and make sure that Finch is all full, and then we should be ready to go charging in against Leo's troops this time. Yeah, unfortunately, we're just not really having much luck with our guards. It seems like so many of them are staying inside our borders. Well, let's put our snake lily to good use, and let's summon some more. Otherwise, we are definitely going to be in trouble. In fact, let's go ahead and try to scare away some of their troops, so we have a few less cats to work with. Now we're just down to Chestnut over here, and we have Dexter way up in the north. As long as they don't call in any reinforcements, then we should be okay. Did we actually swipe down that dragonfly at the same time? Oh my gosh, you poor little thing. Well, we'll sell you off for the extra mews too, I guess. That dragonfly just swooped straight into our claws. Finch wasn't even aiming for him. It would be nice if the same could happen for these crows and these doves, but Finch isn't having quite as much luck catching those today. That is the one thing that we might want to keep in mind as the season winds down to an end. We really should increase the amount of prey that Claudius is keeping track of in his little prey pile by his den. We can always ask Galen to heal us if we do run out of herbs for some reason, but the only cat who has some extra food to spare would be Starling, and that's only if we have the mews to pay for it, because like I said before, he is not giving us any sorts of discounts. I suppose we could always hope that Griffin might have something extra to offer up as a little morsel, because he has given us frogs in the past too before, but it's not something that we can rely on for a steady source of food. Though that is the season where the blueberries come into season, so I guess it'll probably all work out in the end. We know that Finch loves his berries, so he won't let that stash run dry. Now we should be right next to the sacred temple. Though, once again, I just want to see if maybe any of that catnip has grown back. Nope, it looks like it's still empty, unfortunately, but it must be growing back soon. That's another good reason for us to keep this tile under our control, because the catnip is always something that we can use. If not for a gift, then just for the extra mews, because it's worth so much for us to sell. So let's just take over this entire tile. I think we'll have to connect it with the rest of our territory first. And we'll go ahead and munch on some more of those delicious berries, so we don't get too hungry. Yeah, I wanted Finch to come down here too for a different reason, because he hasn't picked his very first red rose yet. They are available for him to snatch up every single day now, but he's never been too interested before. Now that he's spent an entire year with all of his new friends, guiding this brand new colony into the forest, I think he's starting to wonder what his future is going to be like too. So maybe that's where the red rose comes in. He knows eventually, maybe sometime very, very soon in his future, he's going to pick the cat that he wants to give it to. The cat that he's going to spend the rest of his life with. And now with all of those mews in his pocket, it seems more likely than ever that we're going to see a brand new cat inside the colony soon. So the big day could be just around the corner, and he's feeling hopeful about what the future has in store. I'm sure that Coco will be happy that we're bringing one of these home too. He loves to see love blooming in the forest. Unfortunately, we don't have quite enough to take over this tile, as far as the lavender is concerned. So maybe we could poke around the mountain domain for a little while to see if there's any more growing up there. Or to see if we can grab any extra little frogs too. Following the stream would probably be our best bet anyways. It seems like that's always where the frogs are hopping around, though they do love to spend time in the muddy swamplands too. It's one of the many reasons why I am very suspicious about Griffin's origins. I think it's quite clear that the swamps were once his home, but he seems so much happier now that he has a nice, quiet, secluded little place to live inside the feather colony, so I'm glad that we got to know him better. But I think this is just about all we're going to be able to catch today. Maybe one more bunny for the road? Nope, only one for Finch today. But at least we have another little patch of lavender. So let's go ahead and warp straight back home, so we can tuck our brand new red rose into one of the special corners of our den. A beautiful rose for a beautiful future with one of our very special friends. So in the next episode, we'll see if Finch can scrounge up enough mews to invite the very final marriageable cat to his colony, and then maybe it'll be time for him to make his decision as winter looms over the forest once more. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!